happy Wednesday. Today was a day where we did a combination of lessons. We are still in lesson 8, but today's lesson was session 4. So today is the last actual lesson before tomorrow is the review, and then Friday is our quiz. So we'll be looking at tomorrow. I'm going to send home the actual review tomorrow, so you can go ahead and use that as a study guide to practice on tomorrow for homework. So there will be no homework on tomorrow, but you will have that review so you can go back and look at it and study. So on today's lesson, we started out with ordering, where we were looking at how you can switch out the numbers in ordering. And then from ordering, we went to grouping, where we were using grouping symbols on yesterday. The grouping symbols were parentheses, where we can group two factors together and solve what's in the parentheses first to add and use that product to multiply against the third factor you were multiplying with. Well, today they combined both of those lessons today. So not only are we still grouping with parentheses, and not only are we still using the three factors, we are also going to be incorporating the ordering. So we will switch the orders of the numbers to make it easier to multiply, because sometimes we may get a big number to multiply by, such as 16. Well, the kids don't really know how to multiply by 16 just yet, so they would have to do that repeat addition step like I showed you on yesterday, where they would have to do 16 plus 16 plus 16, something like that, to get the answer. But with the lesson today, they made it so to where the kids can switch the factors around, and then that would make it easier for them to multiply. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We are on page 203, and we are looking at the first one, which I'll read the directions. It says, use the numbers on the number cubes 4, 2, and 3 to answer problems 1 through 4. So we're going to answer problems 1 through 4 using that number cube. And again, the number cubes, the numbers on the cube is 4, 2, and 3. Those are the numbers. So let's go ahead and look at number 1. It says, order and group the numbers. That's what I was telling you about. The order means you can change the order. And group means to put them into a set of parentheses. So order and group the numbers, then multiply to find the product. Okay, product again, you're going to be seeing those vocabulary words a lot, like product. A lot of the directions have the word product in it, because they're trying to get you used to that, so that when we get to the big test at the end of the year, the LEAP test, they will be familiar with those words already. So make sure you keep on top of the vocabulary words. So they want us to order and group the numbers. So the numbers they gave us, again, I'll put it on the side. It was 4, 2, and 3. That is what they gave us, 4, 2, and 3. So we are going to go ahead and put this on here. So I'm gonna you can put it in any order you like. There's no particular order. You can choose whatever order you like. I'm just gonna pick any order. So I'm gonna do 3. Let me get a different color. No, I'll do white. 3, 4, and 2. Okay. So now what is next is they want us to group the numbers. So we're going to group the numbers into something that is easy to solve. So I could put my parentheses around 3 and 4, but if I do that, that gives me a big number like 12. And we haven't really worked with 12. 12 is a big number to work with, but there's a simpler number if I put my parentheses around something else. So I'm going to choose a simpler, and I'm going to go with 4 and 2. And I'm going to do 4 and 2 because I know when I multiply 4 times 2, it'll give me a smaller number to work with, something smaller than 12. So let's go ahead and do that. So by multiply, remember when you see parentheses, that means, hey, solve me first. So I'm going to solve what's in the parentheses first. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. And then I'm going to bring down what's left, which is 3 times. So 3 times 8 is going to give you a product of 24. Okay, number 1 is done. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 says order and group the number a different way, then multiply to find the product. Okay, so now they want us to order and group the numbers a different way. So that means we're going to switch the order of the numbers and group it a different way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch my first 2 numbers, the 3 and the 4. I'm going to switch those factors. So this time I'm going to put the 4 first, and then I'm going to put the 3 second, and the 2 is going to stay in the same place. So now that I have switched my factors, I'm going to go ahead and group this. So if I group this, again, I'm not going to put it around 4 and 3 because that's going to give me that big number 12. I'm going to put it around something smaller. So I'm going to put it around 3 and 2. Because I know when I multiply 3 and 2, I'm going to get a smaller number. So let's solve what's in parentheses first. 3 times 2, that is going to be 6. And then I'm going to bring down what's left, which is 4 times. Okay, so now when I multiply 4 times 6, I know that that is going to give me 24. Make sure we are practicing those facts, and make sure we are practicing our skip counting. Again, the kids are doing a really great job with that. Awesome job, parents. Okay, next is number 3. Number 3 says, order the factors the same way you did in problem 2. Now change the grouping with parentheses. Find the product. So they want you to put the numbers in the same order that you did for 2. So let's do that. So we had 4, 3, and 2. But this time they want me to change the order of the place where I have my parentheses. Instead of putting it around 3 and 2 like I had it before, they want me to move it to 4 and 3. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my parentheses now around 4 and 3. So when I do that, that is going to give me a new number to solve with. So I have 4 times 3. That is going to be 12. That 12 I was trying to avoid came right back to me. So this is going to be 12 and then times 2. Okay, so again, you could use repeat addition to help solve this. So because I have times 2, that means I would add 12 2 times. So this would be 12 plus 12. Well, when I add 12 plus 12, that gives me an answer of 24. So I did 3 different ways and still got the answer of 24, which goes back to what I said originally on some other videos, that as long as you use the same factors or the same numbers, then you should get the same answer. It doesn't matter the order or the placement of the numbers. As long as you solve it correctly, you will get the same answer. Okay, so let's go to number 4. It says, which of these 3 products do you think is easiest to find? Explain why you think so. Okay, so in Ms. Newman's opinion, I think it's a tie between 1 and 2 because it gave me small numbers to work with, like 8 and 6. 3 was the hardest because it gave me that big number of 12, and then I had to do the extra step of the repeat addition sentence. So I think I might have to go ahead and go with 2 because it is the smallest of the numbers. 6 is smaller. So I'm going to say that, let's look at the question again because I want to make sure I'm answering it correctly. Which of these 3 products do you think is the easiest to find? So I would say I like, and I'm going to put the equation 4 times in parentheses 3 times 2. And it says to explain why you think so. This is why. Because it is easier to multiply by 6. Okay? And that would be it for number 4. Okay? So again, This is 1 through 4. That was all a part of the number set of 4, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the back of the page, which is going to be 204, 204. Now, let me move my board on. Okay, so Ms. Newman went ahead and wrote it down so you wouldn't be wasting, so I wouldn't waste your time of writing everything down. It's already there, so we can go ahead and jump right on in. So number 5 says, use the numbers 3, 5, and 2 as factors. So they give us the numbers 3, 5, and 2, okay? And let's see, I think I can squeeze it up here. 3, 5, and 2. These are the numbers they gave us. So, now, it says, look at some of the ways the factors are ordered. So they want you to look at how we have these placed, how they're ordered, okay? And grouped. Group, again, means parentheses. Fill in missing numbers. So they want you to fill in the numbers that are missing. So when I look at number 5, I have my 3 times 5. Well, the number that's missing from the set of numbers they gave me is 2. So that means the missing number here would be 2. Okay, let's go to the next set of equations. I have in parentheses 5 times 2. Well, the number that seems to be missing in this equation is 3 from my set of numbers. Okay, let's go to the last equation. And in parentheses, I have 3 times 2. And when I look at that, the number that is missing from this set they gave me is 5. So 5 is the missing number. All right, and that is all we had to do. So let's go to number 6. Number 6 says, look at problem 5. So we're going back to problem 5. And it says, multiply the numbers in the parentheses first. Again, parentheses are Matt's way of saying, hey, solve me first. So, and then fill in the numbers below. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So, up here, this equation goes to this set. This equation goes to this set. And this equation goes to that set. Okay, so let's start with our first set. In parentheses, I have 3 times 5. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, and because there are parentheses around that blank, I know the 15 will go right here. So I'm going to put 15 on this line, and then I write what's left. Well, I have a 2 left, so I'm just going to bring that 2 down, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, let's go to the second equation. So again, parentheses first. 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to look straight down, and this is my set of parentheses, and that's where my 10 is going to go. Okay, and then when I get here, I'm going to just bring my 3 straight down. Okay, that one's done. Let's go to the last set of equations. So, parentheses first. Remember, we're going to skip the 5 and go to the parentheses because we always do parentheses first. So when I do my parentheses first, I have 3 times 2. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to look for my set of parentheses. It's in this blank right here. So that means I'm going to write it on this line here. Now I'm going to go back to the 5 because that's my 5 here, and that's directly below this blank. I'm just going to bring it down. And that's 5. All right. That is it for number 6. Okay, let's look at number 7. It says, which of the 3 products in problem 5 is easiest to find? Why do you think so? So we're going back to 5. And I want to know which one would be easier to solve. Well, this is a tough one because I think there are 2 of them that are easy to solve. So let's look at this one. This one, it gave me that big number of 15, and I would have to do that extra step of repeat addition because I just don't know how to multiply by 15 yet. So I don't think I would choose that one as my easiest one. So let me go here. For this one, I got 10. It's easy to multiply by tens because you can count by tens all day long, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and keep going forever. So it's easy, but is it the easiest? Let's see. I'm gonna go look at this one and then I might have to come back. So for this one, I got 6 and I have 5. It's easy to multiply by 5 as well. 5, you can count by 5, very easy. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But I think I'm gonna go with the one in the middle because I have to count a lot to get to 6. I have to go to 6 fingers. When I count by tens, I'm stopping at my 3rd finger. And that seems a little bit easier and faster. So I'm gonna go with that one. So I'm gonna say, let me make sure I'm answering the question, which of the 3 products in problem 5 is the easiest? I would say the easiest is parentheses 5 times 2, close parentheses, times 3. Because it's easier, I'll write my comma a little better than that. Okay. It's easier to multiply by 10. Okay. That is it for number 7. Let's go to number 8. So number 8 says, multiply the factors 9, 2, and 2. Choose an order and use parentheses to show one way to find the product. So they give me some numbers. And the numbers they gave me is 9, 2, and 2. They told me I could pick any order that I like. I think I'm just gonna write it in this order that it's in because I like how they have the 2 and the 2 closer together already, so I can group them and it'll make it easier for me to solve. So when I write my order, I'm just gonna write it like that. So I'm gonna do 9 times 2 times 2. Okay, so now when I do my grouping with using my grouping symbols, which are my parentheses, I'm gonna put it around 2 times 2. I did that because it'll give me a small number to work with. If I did it around 9 times 2, it's gonna give me a bigger number, which is 18, which is be a little bit harder because now I have to add the extra step of repeat addition. But if I put it around 2 times 2, it's gonna give me a small number that I can multiply easily and I don't have to do that extra step. So let's go ahead and do it. So remember, parentheses first. So I'm gonna do 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Now I'm just gonna bring down what's left, which is 9 times. Now I have 9 times 4. Well, 9 times 4 is going to be 36. So the answer for number 8 is 36. Okay, that is it for number 8. We're gonna go ahead and move to number 9. Okay, we are now on number 9. Number 9 says, explain why you chose to order and group the factors the way you did in problem 8. Well, remember I told you that I grouped it with the 2 and the 2 because it gives me a smaller number to work with and it makes it easier for me to solve. So that's what I'm going to put. I grouped the equation as 9 times 2 times 2, and I put 2 times 2 in parentheses because it is easier to multiply 9 times 4. noticed this lesson, they really want you to explain a lot. They want to know why you chose what you chose. And it's basically because if you can explain what you did, you understand what you did. You can explain, you understand. So that's why they're asking them a lot. Can you explain to me why you did what you did? Why do you think it's easier? Because again, if you can explain it to me, I know you understand it. Okay, let's go to number 10. Number 10 says, multiply the factors 4, 2, and 5. Choose an order and use parentheses to show one way to find the product. Then show the steps to find the solution. So same thing. So the numbers they gave me this time is going to be 4, 2, and 5. So I'm going to write that. 4, 2, and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and choose an order that I want to place it in. I'm just going to put it in this order because I think this is going to be a great order that it's already in. So let's write that. 4 times 2 times 5. Remember, you can choose any order that you like. You don't have to choose exactly what I did. You can pick any order that you like, because as long as we have the same numbers and we solve it correctly, then we will all get the same answer. So now I have to go in, I picked my order. Now I have to use my grouping symbols, which are my parentheses, and group two factors together. So the two factors that I'm going to group together is going to be 2 times 5. Okay, and the reason why I did that is because it's going to give me a 10, and remember, 10s are easy to work with. So let's go ahead and multiply. So remember, solve parentheses first. So I'm going to do 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is going to give me 10. And then I'm going to do 4 times. Bring that down. Now I have 4 times 10. 4 times 10 is going to give me a final answer of 40. And that is the answer for number 10. Okay, that is it for today's homework. It was a quick homework, simple homework. Tomorrow again is review day because we have our quiz on Friday. Everything we review in class will be sent home on tomorrow so that you can go over it with them again for homework, because there is no homework. So just do a quick run through with them and make sure they get it, they understand, because tomorrow is Friday is quiz day. So make sure you get in the bonus point question that I asked you about what is the school motto. I've still received a few of those. Make sure you keep sending it in, because again, who could not use a few extra bonus points? That is it for today. I will see you guys on next week, because today is the last day for homework. So I will see you on next week. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend. Bye.